And we're recording. Today I'm joined by James Griffin from Inxpress Swansea. James, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, cheers, Jamie. As Jamie said, I'm the owner of Inxpress Swansea. Says Swansea, but we actually operate Swansea, Cardiff, and Newport. So we've got customers across South Wales.
And what is it the business does?
So we're a global logistics firm. So we're made up of a team of consultants. So basically, we offer the services of the world's leading courier and freight services. So, for example, we work with DHL, FedEx, TNT, UPS, and a few of the larger freight companies as well. So we basically go in and consult with companies. So we look at their whole shipping profile. We look at ways to improve it, and we're then backed with very competitive rates from the carriers we work with, mainly because we're a global franchise and we spend millions with them each month. We negotiate heavily discounted prices so we can pass them on to our clients, as well as advising and consulting on how they can improve things. So, and then to sort of top it off, we don't kind of just leave it there then once the shipments are gone. We're tracking and monitoring everything for our customers. So we're that sort of that personal touch, if you will. They're not calling through to call centres, they're calling through to us, real people who actually care about their shipments.
Yeah, we were just talking about that briefly before we started recording. I suppose that's that's one of the unique selling points of your business, is that your customers know you on a personal level, and you're there then, and you care about where things are and how things are working, and you're one phone call away rather than having to wait half an hour on a waiting list and then get through to someone in a call centre.
Exactly, yeah. So we like to say we've got a global reach, but a personal touch. So like I said, we're sending things globally, but our customers, as you rightly said, know us on a personal level. Many cases they've got my mobile number, so I'm often working late evenings, but it's all good. We've got some really good relationships, and that's what we like to sort of build the business on, is our relationships with the customer, and it means we've got a very good retention rate with our customers. We're very rarely losing any. And the plan is we just keep building to the funnel and bringing on new customers, treating them well, and building the business basically.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the main point of a service business, is great customer service. And as long as you keep servicing those customers and keep them happy, that's the main point of what you do.
Exactly. Yeah, and we're getting some really good feedback from customers. Especially during these times where we've just provided so much more than what they've expected, and it's really helped them adjust during these times then.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you've got quite an interesting background as to how you came into this business.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about this quite a few times. Do you want to give a bit of background of where you were and how you started up?
Yeah, so I was in the Navy previously. I was in there for 8 years, and I know what you're thinking. I don't look old enough to have been in the Navy for 8 years and then move on to this business, but I was anyway. So so I was in the Navy for 8 years. The last 2 years I was based up in, across in London, in the NATO headquarters there. And I was basically planning to come out. So I looked at a whole number of franchise opportunities. So and eventually used a company which was effectively a matchmaker for individuals like myself and franchises, and which led me towards the Inxpress model, which was we've never looked back, to be honest. It's such a good business to be involved with. So that's how it came to be, and it's been a really exciting, busy 4.5 years. So and we're going from strength to strength, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a few people will be interested in hearing how that transition was, going from salaried employee in a very structured environment to running your own business.
Yeah, it was a massive change. Obviously, it's a very being in the forces. It's a very sort of stable job. Even to the extent of your food's paid for, everything. So you don't really have to think too much when you're in the forces. Coming out then and actually diving in quite deep to running your own business, where I've got no logistics experience, no business experience, no sales experience. So it was yeah, it was a big change, but I think we've coped quite well with it. So yeah, it was all good.
Yeah, and I think you're doing yourself a little bit of a disservice, because I know you were one of the fastest growing franchises in the Inxpress franchise system, and coming from a background where like you said, everything's done for you. That would have been a pretty difficult thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think one of my strengths is mindset, and I'm constantly working on that side of things. And I'm quite driven. I had some clear targets to aim at when I first started the franchise, and yeah, that's allowed us to grow pretty quickly. But yeah, we've been one of the fastest each year, continuously for the first 4 years. So yeah, it's going well. Very busy, but that's how we like it. So it's all good.
I know we talk about mindset quite often, and
Yeah.
One of the things I know we have discussed is the mindset, the paradigm shift of moving from a sort of a comfort blanket of your monthly salary, exactly what's going to be coming in, over to running a business where effectively what you get paid is based on the performance of the business. And I think that's one of the major sticking points for people who are maybe thinking about branching out and starting their own business. How did you deal with that, and sort of what have you been reading? What sort of courses have you done to sort of look at changing your mindset over that?
Yeah, for me, it was a massive help. Sort of, I knew full well, because I was coming from that kind of background with very little experience. I knew that I had to work on myself more than anything. Very big believer that if you sort of work on yourself, work from inwards outwards, the results will come. So as you know, I'm a massive lover of Audible, and I think I've got close to 100 personal development books on there now. So that for me has been a massive factor in the success of this business. Plus, obviously, the people who work with me as well. I've got my partner Carleen, who does all the finance side of things, who you work very closely with.
Yeah.
And obviously, we've got the staff as well, who just play such a massive part in it. So yeah, but for me, sort of changing the mindset of, like you said, being in that comfort zone to all of a sudden jumping in, into the deep end. I knew full well I didn't have the sort of mindset in place. I've had to work on that. So I put it down to mindset a lot, really, the success of the business. So I think if you've got sort of a clear goal, clear objective, and you strive for that, you believe you can achieve it, and then obviously you can do pretty much anything you want. So
yeah, absolutely. Goal setting for me is a big thing. I think setting your goals, weekly, daily, monthly, and then longer term goals as well is absolutely key. Because if you're just sort of going into things and just doing your day-to-day business without a clear guide to where you want to be in a certain amount of time, it's far more difficult to get any success out of things, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm a big believer of sort of focusing on activity, more so than results, if anything. Because if you're doing the right things, the results will come regardless. So but that obviously comes with good planning, But I take things day to day a lot of the time. So I'll plan out, for instance, I want to contact 15 new potential, 15 prospects a day. And then I make that my main objective for the day. So I'll do that first before I do anything else. And like I said, you do things like that, and then the results will look after themselves. If you put in, it's the cause and effect kind of thing, So yeah, that's what I do. I'm activity focused a lot, and that then leads to the results more than anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose we can't really go through this conversation without mentioning the C word, not the naughty one. I mean, COVID and lockdown. Have you been doing anything different in the business due to the lockdown?
Not so much for our business. So we obviously, when this happened, Carly, my partner, and I, we had a discussion, and we kind of thought the best road to go down was to really focus on our customers rather than ourselves. So so basically, you know, contacting, reaching out at a time where most people were being quiet, we were becoming far more active, reaching out to our clients, finding out their troubles, and finding out how we can better serve them, really. And it's led to some really good results, to be honest. We've turned a lot of our customers from being a, you know, a bricks and mortar company. We've put them online. We've advised how they can do that. We've given them the carriers that they can use to do that. We've then supported them through any delays they've had with parcels. So we've had a big upsale in existing customers. We've brought on some really good new customers as well. Don't get me wrong, it did slow down at the start, because like I mentioned earlier, we're primarily focused on international shipments, so imports, exports, whether that's sort of courier stuff or freight stuff, you know, your pallets and containers and things like that. So that, due to obviously planes being landed and things like that, that did take a step back for a little while. So we've had to adjust slightly. We've brought on some more UK customers, but mainly the focus has been really trying to sort of tap into what our customers are doing and how we can improve them. You know, the more you give, the more you gain. So we've really focused on that, and that's allowed us to really see some positives during COVID, actually.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a similar story from our side with the practice. We've been, you know, as soon as these government support options have been coming out, we've been analysing them, getting out, you know, videos on them, getting out fact sheets on them, taking calls left, right, and centre just to help clients get through the myriad of the different support options, which ones work best for them, how they all interact with each other.
Yeah.
And we're getting some nice feedback on that, and it's a good feeling then when you know, aside from, you know, the business side of things, it's quite a good feeling when you provide a good service to someone and they come back and they're really appreciative of what you've done for them. Yeah,
most definitely. Well, we've seen that with you. Not to blow smoke too much, but you've been excellent for us, to be honest. As you know, Carleen, my partner, deals with the finances a bit more than me. I'm more the face of the business in terms of getting out and seeing clients and things. But we've both seen it from yourself and your colleagues. It's been great support at a time where I definitely wasn't too clear on things. Carleen was a little more clear, but just having that support, and you know, it was especially during the early stages, we were getting regular, pretty much daily updates from you saying, look, these are the changes today. You might be eligible for this. Take a look at this. And for us, that was invaluable. We've had some help as well, so we managed to get some funding and a couple of other little bits. So it's been really good support from you guys. As you know, we used you in your previous business, and the support was very similar then, which is why we've continued to use you even as you've progressed through your career. So definitely, great support.
Appreciate the nice words.
That's all right, no worries.
And I suppose you talked there about some of the impacts of COVID, and I know a lot of businesses are moving to sort of working remotely. As I can see, you're not in the office there.
No.
How difficult did you find the transition of moving from an office-based business to a remote working one?
We were slightly reluctant at first, just because we've got the team of us together in one room and we can bounce ideas off each other. Say a customer's got a certain issue. You know, it could be something to do with customs. I'm not too sure, but we're all in one room there. We're able to sort of, you know, bounce ideas off each other and come up with best solutions for our clients. But so we've got a really good telephone system. We've obviously adjusted and set up Zoom and things like that. So it's actually not been bad at all. It's been a really smooth transition. Whereas I think, like everyone, I was slightly skeptical at first, thinking, oh, would it work very well? But if I'm completely honest, we are going to go back to an office environment, but if the business works wherever we're working from. We've just set up our VoIP system. You know, the girls in the office have got their phones set up, so we're constantly on Zoom, we're constantly on WhatsApp. So, you know, using technology has really helped us, and it's been a really smooth transition, really.
Yeah, I mean, from my point of view, obviously there's lots of bad things going on with COVID, and there's lots of massive disadvantages to business and people around the world.
Yeah.
But look, trying to see some of the positives in it. What I've actually seen is that there's been a lot of different ideas thrown around businesses over the last few years. With the way technology has moved on, and the way that businesses work in terms of their systems, their processes, and finding efficiencies. This is actually what this has done is this forced change.
Yeah.
So businesses haven't had a choice but to learn these systems and to implement them. And I think moving forward, what we'll see is businesses who have adapted very well will come out the other end, much slicker outfits.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, we've seen it with not only ourselves, but a lot of our customers as well. So we've noticed it, I would have thought, more than most businesses, that the effect it's had on certain industries, because we work with a number of industries similar to yourselves, and we've seen that some have really been hit hard, and whilst some have sort of battened the hatches and just thought, oh, we'll get through this, others have, other customers they've really adjusted and actually changed their business model completely. One example is we've got a cable assembly company that we work with, and they've actually just changed their whole manufacturing process and changed it to sort of glass protection screens. So one job we're doing at the moment for them, which has been very, very testing, to be honest, is we've had to get basically all these protective screens out to large chains of casinos around the country. Now, bear in mind, casinos are often on high streets. They don't often have a forklift within their reception area. So we've had to basically supply Arctic Moffat vehicles. Now, a Moffat vehicle is something with, it's an Arctic vehicle, so a 13.6 meter bed with a forklift attached to the back. So it's been, like I said, we've had a 3-week window to cover about 70 odd addresses and get all these glass protection screens out, and to meet their engineers so they can actually fit them in these casinos before they're able to open up again. So that's one really good example of how a business has adjusted, and we've had to adjust in order to help them, So it's been testing, but also really rewarding, because we've definitely gained a very loyal customer there, because we've been working very, very tirelessly with them to get this job sorted for them.
Yeah, definitely. I can echo that, and it's showing the adaptive abilities and the business acumen of a lot of small business owners, across the country. I mean, as a couple of examples, we've got one client who has traditionally been a commercial laundry.
Okay.
He then has been able to use the linen that he had in stock, and they've been able to manufacture very quickly face masks, and been able to brand them up and everything. So it's been a very quick adaptation from two service lines which are quite different to each other. And then we've seen things like lots of restaurants, cafes, and things like that have very quickly moved to a takeaway delivery service. And I think the majority of the places around here, around where I live, now do deliveries, and that seems to be working very well. I think even moving into the future, they'll see that is that's an extra revenue stream for them, and keep them going even when they start opening back up.
Yeah, definitely. It's I definitely, with the restaurants and things, we've seen that a lot around here. It's not been great for my waistline, don't get me wrong, but it's very, very handy. And for the times when you're working long days and you can't, you maybe don't want to cook, it's been invaluable, really. But it's so much change, and for the most of it, what I've witnessed has been positive, and I think that's great. Like you said, people are being forced to change. No one likes to change. You want to stay within your comfort zone. Your brain's there to sort of protect you, isn't it? So but if in times like this where you're forced to change, it's just having some massively positive effects on businesses. It's obviously businesses who've not benefited from this, and I do really feel for them. But yeah, it's a lot of seen improvements. So that's one positive to take out of all this is, the change and the positive and businesses are growing. We've seen it firsthand. Some of our clients have doubled their revenue during this time. So others have, like I said, have lost money, but it's a case of everyone having to adapt and overcome and move forward now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think because this has happened, I think one of the things that is certainly highlighted for me, and I would say this as an accountant and a tax advisor, is that real-time information in terms of their finances is now more important than ever for businesses. Because in the past you might have got away with reporting on your management information from a month or two ago, but with the way things have changed so rapidly, information from 2 months ago is no longer relevant. And what you need to be looking at is what you've done in the last week, in the last day, and what your cash position looks like forecasted into the future. That's certainly something I think a lot of businesses are now looking at. We're having more conversations with people around setting up systems and setting up forecasting models so that they can understand their position before they get to it, rather than getting into the position and then going, oh, I'm going to run out of cash next week. And I don't know if you've seen that and how beneficial things like that have been to you.
Definitely, the live side of things which you guys have offered us has been invaluable because, like I said, it was. Although I've seen this whole process as a positive, at the very beginning it was difficult. Like I said, I think we went down to, I think we lost about 2/3 of our shipments sort of when it all started. So and like I said, it was the majority of those were international shipments, so allowing us to tap into our system and determine where our revenue's coming from and what areas of the business are going to be affected and having that live data was massive for us, because it allowed us to see where we need to change things and adapt and overcome it.
Yeah, I mean, from my point of view, I'll obviously say this as an accountant, is what I do. That information has always been extremely valuable to businesses, but I think now there's again another mindset shift in that producing your accounts once a year, if you are looking to grow the business, probably isn't going to be enough, because you haven't got a firm grip on your finances. Yes, you might know how much cash is in the bank every day because you can look at your bank balance, but cash doesn't always mean a high cash balance doesn't always mean that the business is performing the way you want it to. And it's looking at other metrics and putting in key performance indicators, understanding what your gross profit margins are, because you might be getting a lot of turnover in, but then if your margins are so tight and then your overheads are quite high, you might not, when you look at the bottom line, your net profit margin might be absolutely tiny off the back of that. So just understanding these figures, I think, is key to being able to understand your business from a financial side, and then where you need to make improvements.
Definitely, yeah. In turbulent times, especially like you said, it's to have that live data, which we haven't had, previously. Like you said, we were one of the businesses who would tend to look back, and then you would explain to us, you've hit this percentage margin over the year, and I don't think that's enough now, is it? I think moving forward, you need to be a bit more on the ball, and like I said, especially in these turbulent times where a lot of businesses have seen, either big increases or big decreases in their revenue. So I'm a big advocate for the live side of things now. Yeah,
definitely. And with the with some of the technology available now, I mean, you've got you've got Xero as your main bookkeeping package, but it's not just a bookkeeping package. There's thousands of apps which you can build in, so it can pull in information from, you can add payment buttons on there to get your payments in quicker. You can bring in your stock management system. You can bring in your CRM system, so everything's in one place, and then you can build out reports off the back of that. Plug in maybe a cash flow forecasting tool, and then everything can be done from one place, and it automatically all feeds in, which is absolutely amazing. 10 years ago, that wasn't possible. So the advent of technology like this is certainly making this this type of work and this type of management information easier to get hold of.
Yeah, definitely. Well, as you know, we were previously operating on Sage, and you kind of recommended that we swap over to this for all the reasons where you just mentioned there. So it's been a really good good change for us. We you know, like I said, you don't always want to change, you know. And Carlene, who deals more with the finances, she was she's from an accountancy background as well, as you know. So she'd always used Sage, and she was slightly reluctant when you advised us to take the leap and swap. But she's seen the benefits massively now as well. So yeah, it's a good swap.
Yeah. So I know you're a busy man. So if we'll wrap this up quite quickly. So if people want to get in contact with you, do you want to give some of your contact details?
Yeah, of course. Best way is probably give us a buzz on the office number and ask for myself. So the office number is 02920 501 600. 02920 501 600.
Okay, what we'll do is I will include your contact details in the bio to this video on YouTube.
Yeah.
And right about now, you'll probably be seeing some buttons on the screen, a subscribe button. Please, if you like this video, please subscribe to get more content in the future. James, thanks for joining me, mate. And I'll let you get off to your...
No worries. Just one thing to add. Even if people sort of, you know, don't want or aren't looking to swap carriers or anything at the moment, but you're just looking for some advice on something, honestly, give me a call. I'm more than happy to do so.
Great stuff, yeah. And I'd recommend speaking to James just to get an idea of what you're looking at, see if there's anything you can do which will save you time or money.
Perfect. Cheers, Jamie.
Thanks for joining me. See you later.
Thank you. Bye now.